Good afternoon, all the participants, and I welcome you all to the second session of the day. Today, we have the immense pleasure of having Dr. Amare Gowda. Sir is professor and head Department of Crop Physiology, UAS Raichur. And the topic chosen for deliberation is role of crop physiology in achieving sustainable agricultural production. Sir, you're audible as well as visible, and your screen is also shared. Can we switch to PPT so that you may start, sir?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Okay.
Visible, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Perfect.
You are listening?
Yes, sir. Yes.
No disturbances?
No, nothing. Perfect.
Okay, thank you. And good afternoon to the participants and the organizers. Today I am here to tell about the role of physiology in achieving sustainable agricultural production. You know that agriculture nowadays facing so many problems. Already there are some problems and there are some emerging problems, coming problems. Already we are existing problems like population, food systems, nutrition, health, ecosystem, land resources and food production. Especially with respect to nutrition and health problems, we are getting so many unknown things. Then with respect to climate change, you know, there is a continuously changing the climate. So many it encounters so many problems in agriculture production and the related problems associated with water and energy and also some international trade. In this connection, to get sustainable agriculture, three components are important. For sustainable agriculture, three components are: one is economic, another one is social and environmental. Means our agriculture should be economic, means less cost, more income. Then it should be socially acceptable, and there should not be any harm to the environment. Eco-friendly technology should be there for the getting more agriculture yield. How to achieve this sustainability? Sustainability we can achieve by agronomic practices, development of new technologies. Then that is the role of the agronomists and other scientists, including entomologists and pathologists and also microbiologists. And by changing the environment, these can do some technologies. But the changing the plant paradigm means improving the plant, means identifying an ideal plant or ideal plant type for a particular situation is more economic as compared to the management of agronomic practices. For example, here the nutrition. If you identify an efficient genotype for uptake of nutrients like highly costly fertilizer like phosphorus, you know, legume crops, they require a lot of phosphorus for the growth and development. And the phosphorus fertilizers are very costly. Instead of management practices to increase the yield by application of fertilizers, you can identify a genotype which is more efficient in utilizing the phosphorus. Then that should be accepted by the society. Then now we shall come to the role of physiology, the main topic of the lecture. You know, crop physiology, you know, everybody know this definition. It may occur to listen you also, but since it is the refresher course, what are the you have learned all those things in your undergraduate and also some of the postgraduate students here. But to understand the importance of the crop physiology, I have to tell the definition of crop physiology. Then only you will understand what is crop physiology and how it is useful in sustainable agriculture. Crop physiology is the science which deals with the life processes of crop plants or the functions of cells, tissues, organs of the plant as a whole. Okay, then if you see this definition, you will think that it is a botany. In botany also, you will deal with all these things. But one more thing is there. Life processes are physiological processes in, in relation to environment. These functions and process of the plant in relation to environment is the real definition of crop physiology. Crop physiology means the science which deals with processes and functions of plant in relation to environment. Okay, environment means what? Environment, elements of the environment, the light, temperature, humidity, landscape, water, and all these factors, the elements of environment, they will affect the processes and functions of the plant. Study of all this is a physiology. Actually, physiology gives the answer to why and how to behave, the behavior of the plant in a particular situation. Plant physiology, okay, these are all some of the physiological processes. You may think, okay, physiological processes like transpiration, respiration, photosynthesis, metabolism, uptake of water, translocation of food material. These are all these processes. Then functions means the production of fruit, production of leaves, production of reproductive structures, seeds, and all that is the functions. All these, they will change with the environment. How and why these processes changes with the environment, the crop physiology gives the answer. There are so many unknown things also there, unanswered questions are also there. Still, physiologists are trying to understand the behavioral of the plants. Okay, actually, crop physiology is a transdisciplinary approach. Means, actually, physiologist is a basic subject which will help to the every subjects of the agriculture, like nutrition and health, nutrition, yield, functions, metabolism, environment, resources use, breeding and genetics, pest and diseases, all this. With respect to physiology, pathology is nothing but the abnormal physiology is a pathology. Abnormal physiology is a pathology. In this case, nutrition, health, medicine, yield formation, compounds, biochemistry and biological regulations, and above the environment, above the ground and below the ground, what are the things that will affect the plant growth? All these things will be studied and helps to the other disciplines for the development of their science. It contributes to one. Crop physiology contributes to one health. Means it also deals with the soil, what happens to the soil, how the plants take the nutrients, whether the soil scientist they will deal with only the soil, but the physiologist they will deal with how these plants uptake above ground plants, how they utilize the nutrients, and all that we will deal with the soil, then also with the plant, and also the microbes, how they will interact, interrelated to the growth of the plants, and also animals, means how the plant parts are related to the animal health, and also human beings, and ultimately the ecosystem. It will help to the all agronomists, soil scientists, plant breeders. Actually, physiologist he cannot work isolated. He should always work with the plant breeders. They should work with the agronomist, or they should work with the soil scientist always, because our ultimately the end users are agronomists, soil scientists, and breeders. We are only assisting them for the better selection and better management techniques. We will deal with all from single cell to the global level, from molecule, cell, tissue, organ, individual, population, ecosystem, biome, and global level also. For any activity of the plant, it is determined by genetic potentialities of the plant and also the environmental factors. Ultimately, these genetic potential of the particular plant and environmental factor, these will affect the physiological processes. Physiological processes like water absorption, transpiration, water balance, photosynthesis, respiration, and other metabolic processes, and also the partitioning of photosynthetes and internal regulatory systems, and ultimately that will decide the quality and quantity of the growth. Okay, the earlier climate changing affects the plant physiological processes, especially the processes like photosynthesis, respiration, water relations, nutrient uptake, phenology. All these aspects, they are vulnerable to climate changes. We have to, means for getting sustainable yield, we have to deal with all these things. Then only you will get proper techniques and proper plant particular situation. You know that in the climate change, there is an increase in the carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere. Everybody think that with increase in the carbon dioxide, there will be increase in the growth, more carbon dioxide fixation. But meantime, it is only benefit for the C3 plants, but there is no benefit for the C4 plants. Same time, with increasing carbon dioxide, there will be negative impact on the soil moisture deficit, because more photosynthesis, it absorbs more water, then there should be more soil moisture in the root zone for getting the optimum growth. Then stomatal closure means, with one more negative effect of the climate change is more carbon dioxide concentration. It inhibits the stomatal opening, so that stomata will close. Stomata, because of the closure of the stomata, lower carbon dioxide will be taken. Lower carbon dioxide and closure of the stomata also leads to the lesser transpiration. Lesser transpiration, you know that the transpiration is very important for the uptake of the nutrients. Transpiration is not just required for the loss of the water, but it is very important to draw the nutrients from the soil through water. So when the carbon dioxide is more, nutrients uptake will be affected. Then respiration. Respiration, with increase in the carbon dioxide, there will be increase in the ambient temperature. You know that carbon dioxide holds the heat and there will be increase in the global temperature. You know that with every 10-degree increase, there will be double the activity of the enzyme. Means if you increase by 10-degree, if your temperature is, average temperature is 25, if the temperature is 35, always that in that context, the enzyme's activity will be doubled. Then the respiration rate will increase. Then it will affect the acclimatization to the particular situations. Then more the losses of carbon dioxide will take place. Then the dry matter accumulation will be reduced. There are researchable issues. As a huge knowledge gap means there is a gap. There are many things are not understood still. Similarly, water uptake. Loss of water transport means due to shortage of water, loss of water transport due to embolism means there will be a disruption in the xylem water continuity, means the water conducting tissues will be affected. Then these water tissue effect will be more as compared to the plant suffering from the carbon dioxide. And also this is an important key factor to give attention for this process during the drought. Okay, if you see the losses due to different abiotic stresses. The important abiotic stresses which affects the sustainable agriculture is water stress or drought or temperature, or temperature means it includes both low temperature and high temperature, and also mineral stress and salinity stress. Water stress itself is 26% of the arable land affected by the water stress, 15% of the land is affected by temperature, and 20% is mineral and 10% salinity. If by seeing this, the yield losses, the drought alone contribute a yield loss of 17%. Among all these stresses, high temperature also, high temperature, 40% of the yield losses are due to high temperature. We have to focus more on the high temperature stress and drought stress for the sustainable agriculture. That means here the large percentage of global arable land, cuttable land, is already subjected to abiotic stress. Okay, then if you see the climate change, the temperature, already there is a, currently there is always, already there are high weather vagaries are there. If you think the future, using the models, there is an increase in the average temperature, and also more hot weather and extreme hot weather are accepted in the coming years. In future climate, we will not only have higher mean, means higher mean means higher average temperature, means for example, the average temperature of Raichur is 30 degrees Celsius throughout the year. The average means in coming years, the average temperature will increase. It may be 32 or 33 average. Okay, again, the crop productivity is exposed to different types of abiotic stresses, toxicity, chilling, freezing, and all this. These are the main factors affect the yield. Here, with respect to crop physiology, I will not going to deal with the other factors because many scientists like agronomists and other people also you might have learned about the different management practices. But I will tell with the physiologists mainly deal with bioregulators. No other scientists usually deal with the plant growth regulators. So I have selected the use of growth regulators, how we can get the sustainable yields. You know that the metabolic activities, mainly in case of plants, they are controlled by the growth regulators. These growth regulators play important role in physiological metabolic activities, even under the water stress and high temperature stress also. Crop yield is primarily related, in this context, the primary crop yield is primarily limited. It means the limiting factor is water, especially in case of arid and semi-arid regions. And under limited water, reduction in grain and yield, how we can reduce the yield losses, and get more yield in the limited water situations, we can think using these growth regulators. You know, there is no need to explain you the different types of growth regulators and their role. The main classification: plant growth promoters and plant growth inhibitors. Plant growth regulator promoters include auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins, and abscisic acid ethylenes are the inhibitors. And there are some new additions are also there with respect to plant hormones like brasinosteroids, jasmonic acid, salicylic acid, polyamines, strigolactones, and nitric oxide. These are only some of the classified plant growth hormones. Instead of growth hormones, I will go also with some of the important work in the different crops. Okay, with respect to wheat to improve the yield under limited water situations, We can use, there are experiments, thiourea, salicylic acid, gibberellic acid, and orthosalicylic acid, and all these acids. And in different water situations like 1.85, 0.7, 0.5, 0.4, 0.25, and zero point 0.1 CPU, cumulative pan operation situation, stress conditions. In this, the plant growth regulators, there is an increase in the biomass and as well as grain yield of the rice. The grain yield was improved by 5.9 to 20.6%, and the total biomass was increased by 4.8 to 15.3 grams, 3%. Specifically, thiourea and salicylic acid, these are the two major growth regulators, helps in improving the yield under stress conditions. Yield can ultimately the yields 19 to 50% lesser irrigation with use of plant growth regulators. This is the outcome. Means under limited water sources, we can improve the yield using the plant growth regulators in case of wheat. And another crop, sorghum. This sorghum cultivate both during Kharif as well as Rabi. But in Rabi, there is assured rainfall. In the Rabi, it is very important to improve the yield because the Rabi sorghums are grown in the residual moisture where under stress conditions. It is important to improve the yield. There was a study, the application of salicylic acid and thiourea, and also they have studied potassium nitrate at a different date of sowing. That means the seedling elongation stage, means that is early stage, reproductive stage, and also panicle emergence stages. This application of these growth regulators improved the yield and straw yield and also the water productivity. Yield is improved by 6 to 18%. Then straw yield was improved by 5 to 14%, and water productivity improved by 1 to 1.4 kg per cubic meter. Among this, the salicylic acid was more effective under moderate stress, while sodium benzoate and thiourea are better under severe water deficits. That means, depending upon the situation, these chemicals are helpful. Means under moderate stress, salicylic acid is beneficial. Under severe stress, sodium benzoate and thiourea are beneficial for getting the more yield. Then next crop is rice. Rice, there is a seed setting problem in seed filling also. You might have heard some farmers, they will complain. There is especially in the month of lower temperature months like November and December, where the Kharif rice crops grown late. That time, in the winter, usually the night temperatures are very low. Sometimes, because of the cloudy nights, the temperature is high. Sometimes it goes more than the daytime temperature because in the winter day temperature is low. For example, day temperature may be 20. Due to cloud, if the cloudy nights are always warmer as compared to day. That time, if the nights are cloud, then the night temperature goes more than the daytime. That time, if this cloudiness continues for 2 to 3 days, the cloudiness continues for 2 to 3 days continuously during the flowering stage in case of rice. Because of the higher temperature, plant in the plants, all the plants, the respiration and photosynthesis takes place only during the daytime, but the respiration, which is required for the energy, continues during both day and night. When the night temperature is high, respiration losses are more. Then it affects the seed filling process, means the process associated with pollination and fertilization. These things will be affected by the high respiration rates. During that time, it causes some fields totally seedless, or seed setting is affected. This can be manipulated by agrochemicals and also genotype, especially. Okay. Then during the high day temperature, you know that high day temperature is also one of the important factor to consider, because the rice is grown both during Kharif and summer also. High day temperatures is severely influenced by photosynthesis activity, bringing it changes the thylakoid structural organization and also interrupt the whole cycle of the photosystem. That's why it results in the production of excessive reactive oxygen species. Okay, this is the harmful effect of photosynthesis. How this means how temperature affects the seed setting. Because of the higher temperature, the photosynthesis process affected, and there will be production of reactive oxygen species. You know, these reactive oxygen species are detrimental to the metabolism of the plant. This ultimately causes the cell of death also. The high day temperatures are posed to negative effect on physiological traits, and high night temperature is more lethal for grain formation and rice yield. Means high day temperature, they affect the physiological process of the plants. Physiological process means photosynthesis, respiration, and other things like, and physiological traits like photosynthesis and leaf area, especially leaf area. High temperature, it affects the leaf area. Means it will dry the older leaves especially, and also it affects the photosynthesis. Current photosynthesis is very important for the grain filling of the rice. Okay, the same thing I have already told you. The increased respiration rate, it will reduce the pollination and number of pollen germination on the stigma, and also increase the spikelet sterility, which is ultimately leads to the final grain yield loss. This, how we can control this? By this can be controlled by exogenous application of plant growth regulators and the different nutrients also. The plant growth regulators like vitamin C, vitamin E, then jasmonate, brasnosteroids. These are all effective in controlling this process. Especially some of the chemicals like vitamins like ascorbic acid. Ascorbic acid, it is very important for the plant. It plays an important role in protection of cells and cell organelles during the oxidative damage by the reactive oxygen species. That means the ascorbic acid, nothing but the vitamin C, it will protect the cells and cell organelles. That is caused by reactive oxygen species. And in case of tocopherol or the vitamin E, this will regulate the cell division and cell elongation process. Cell elongation and cell division process. Then this will also important for the some of the vital organic acids. The synthesis of organic acids like tartaric acid, uronic acid, glyceric acid, and oxalic acids. The production of these acids, it will be monitored by vitamin E, that is alpha tocopherol, and also it also involved in the synthesis of some of the flavonoids and photohormone synthesis. And then brasnosteroids. These are important for the cellular and physiological processes like stem elongation, pollen tube growth, root inhibition, and also ethylene biosynthesis, proton pump activity, xylem differentiation, photosynthesis, and some of the gene expression. These steroids are all important, and these also impart or in this steroids also helps the plant in controlling the means tolerating the abiotic stress, especially high temperature, low temperature, and drought and salinity. These these are having a role in the tolerance. And also these steroids helps in the production of heat shock proteins that will help in the tolerance of the plant against the temperature. This methyl jasmonate, methyl jasmonate is also involved in the plant developmental processes. This also helps in the important physiological processes, and these jasmonates also involved in the defense response of plants to some of the biotic and abiotic stresses. By other than these plant growth regulators, nutrients are also important in the seed setting problems. To tackle these problems, our students have worked how to tackle the seed setting problem with the different nutrient concentrations and growth regulators like gibberellic acid, tricontinol, nitrobenzene, salicylic acid, and 6-BPA means cytokinin, borax. With all these combinations also, with this they have tried. These chemicals were applied just before panicle, just before flowering, and also 10 days after the flowering. In this, there was an increase of yield in rice. Application of 19-ol. These are all the soluble fertilizers. These are all soluble fertilizers. With this application, there is an increase in yield of 23% higher grain yield over the control. Higher grain yield over the control. This helps. How these improvements they helps in the maintaining the current potentials of green leaves and also increase the pigments associated with photosynthesis. And one more thing, with these are all about the technology, but in the identification of the genotypes, how to identify a genotypes for high temperature tolerance means screening of the genotypes with a different date of sowing is one aspect, and during the high temperature stress, we have to identify a genotype which can pollinate and fertilize during the cooler hours of the day. That means the breeder should look that trait which can flower early in the morning. In case of rice, the pollination, fertilization takes place early hours of the day. That means around 9 to 11 o'clock. But there are some genotypes or wild types which escape the drought, which escape the high temperature stress. They will flower early morning, means for a genotype which can flower before 8 o'clock, means cooler hours of the day, they will flower and pollination takes place and fertilization takes place, so that it will avoid the high temperature stress. So that by identifying such genotypes, which may be higher yielding or not, selecting the such genotypes and transferring that character to the ruling varieties will helps in the cultivation of the scalding of the rice at the higher temperature, means getting the higher yields in the high temperature stress. This is one of the trait. Look this trait for the selection. Then this is about the rice, and also one more thing, one more problem in the rice is lodging. How to control this lodging? lodging, because of the stem strength, this can be controlled by use of the mepiquate chloride. This mepiquate chloride also have got some other role also. This mepiquate chloride will reduce the plant height and increase the number of tillers and also tiller strength. Then this mepiquate chloride have one more advantage, especially if a water stress is there or scarce problem is water limited situations. It will allow the plant, it will not allow the plant to close the stomata. Means it will maintain the current photosynthesis in the moderate way, so that the plant continuously involved in the photosynthesis and produce the photosynthates. Then these photosynthates will available for the development of the grain. Mepiquate chloride can also be used to problem of lodging. Okay, this is about the rice. Then maize. Maize, application of nutrients. The farmers casually they will apply they will give the basal nutrient, basal nutrient at the time of sowing. But after that, the nitrogen fertilizers usually randomly they will apply or give to the plant as a top dress at 45 days, 35 to 45 days after sowing. Here, they will not know when the plant required the nutrients for the growth. For here, to precisely when the plant nutrient requirement is high for getting the more yield, we have studied during the different stages of the crop. Means instead of crop stage, we have selected different leaf stages. We have selected especially the grain number. We have selected at what time the grains will be determined in the cob. The grain determination period. In case of maize, the grain determination takes place at 5th to 6th leaf stage, and grain development takes place at 12th leaf stage. That means actually the maize plant nutrient requirement is high at these stages. Because the number of grains in the cob will be determined at 5th or 6th leaf stage. It is around 15 to 20 to 25 days only. During that stage only, the nutrient requirement is there. But casually farmers, they will apply the nutrients 35 to 40 days only. Without randomly they will apply. Here, when we applied for 5th and 6th leaf stage, we got an improved yield when the foliar nucleation of zinc sulfate 0.5% at early vegetative stage at V5th and V6th stage, it gave around 22% more grain yield as compared to control. Here we have used 19 all soluble fertilizer at V5th stage, V6th, V11 and V12. V5th and V6th are grain determination stages. V5th and V12th stages, V11 and V12 stage are the grain development stage. In that early stages at V5th and V6th leaf stage is important for top dressing. And one more study in the sweet corn. Here also, the malformation in the human beings, one of the ways the deficiency of zinc in the human body. Usually the medicals, they will give the medicines to improve this deficiency, but it can be improved by supplying the sweet corns or eating the sweet corn. Also we can take the zinc, but that is biofortification. By biofortification, how we can increase the zinc and iron content in the plants. There was a study of foliar spray when we have taken this, the zinc sulfate at 0.5%, FeSO4 5% seed treatment, and also foliar spray of zinc at 1% and FeSO4 1%, it significantly increased the yield. This significantly increased the yield, seed number, and also number of cob length, and also the quality characters like protein content, and also zinc and iron content in the grain increased. Okay, this is all about the sweet corn, and now we shall see there is a product developed by University of Agriculture Sciences Raichur called Pulse Magic. Pulse Magic, it is a combination of nutrients which helpful for the combination of nutrients which contain 10% of nitrogen, 40% of phosphorus, and 3% of micronutrients, and also 20 ppm of growth regulator. Actually, it was applied for the patent. In so many, it helps in the improvement of the pulse yields. All the pulses, especially pigeon pea, green gram, black gram, chickpea. Also, this magic pulse, we call it as a magic pulse. Magic pulse is a product of nutrients. That means nitrogen, phosphorus, and micronutrient composition. This helps in this chemical, spraying up these chemicals at flowering stage, and 15 days after the first spray. That means actually 2 sprays are required. This crop, this chemical, we have sold many tons to the farmers. Farmers are impressed much. Especially this, in case of pigeon pea, it has recorded 22% grain yield. Mainly this chemical helps in the translocation of food material from vegetative parts to reproductive parts, and also production of more flowers and seed setting improvement. These are some of the pictures. Then this is also used in the black gram also. In case of black gram, Pulse Magic, that at the rate of 10 grams per liter, the concentration is 10 grams per liter. Increase the yield by 83% over control. Overall increase in the grain yield for 2 years is 83%. And this is in the black gram. And this is in green gram also. Green gram 86% control over the 86% over the control. Along with this, they have studied with monoammonium phosphate, zinc sulfate, boron, then benzene adenine, salicylic acid. Salicylic acid also has important role in the plant system. These are some of the figures with Pulse Magic in case of green gram. And also it was used in the soybean also. Soybean Pulse Magic, 10 grams per liter. That has improved by yield percentage 90%. This, and based upon this product, Chickpea Magic, Pulse Magic. Pulse Magic is mainly used for the crops that are grown in the Kharif. Based upon the performance of these, we have also developed one more product, Chickpea Magic. Chickpea Magic, which contains some of the nutrients required for the drought and high temperature tolerance. In case of Rabi crops, chickpea is a Rabi. Here we are important is high temperature and drought. To control this, they have added some more nutrients like more of calcium, magnesium, and boron, which helps in maintaining the water balance and uh, tolerance to the high temperature. Chickpea, in case of Chickpea Magic, it has increased 124% as compared to the control. As compared to the control, it is 124%, whereas Pulse Magic is 104. They are compared with all other similar treatments like NAA, benzyladenine, boron, zinc sulfate and monophosphate, urea and DAP, and tricontinol and nitrobenzene growth regulators. These are some of the pictures. Okay, this is all about the product, Chickpea Pulse Magic and Chickpea Magic. These are the two products that are developed from the University of Agriculture Sciences Raichur to improve the pulses. These all chemicals they went for farm trials and also package of practice, accepted by the farm trials and accepted many farmers are using in commercial basis. We are selling this product on commercial basis. Leaf reddening, the physiologist means we may feel short if we didn't talk about the leaf reddening. Leaf reddening, there are so many problems with, there are so many reasons to occur the leaf reddening in cotton. Before the introduction of the BT cottons, leaf reddening was there. And also after that also, introduction of the BT cotton, leaf reddening was also there. The problem of reasons for the reddening in the cotton. Cotton for reddening, there are three main important reasons have been identified. One is low temperature. Due to low temperature, reddening occurs in the cotton, and nutrient deficiency, and also mites and thrips. The insect stress also causes leaf reddening. Among this, we have studied about the nutrient problem. That means we have taken we have provided the nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and magnesium through water soluble fertilizers, and magnesium sulfate by soil application also. Based upon the research, it was recommended that magnesium sulfate 25 kg per hectare at the time of sowing, and foliar application of 1% magnesium sulfate at 7.5 kg per hectare soluble fertilizer 3 times at 60, 80, and 90 days after sowing. We have conducted demonstration under RKUI project in the totally around 700 hectare in 3 years. Under UAS Raichur, we have conducted a demonstration on this recommendation, that is magnesium sulfate soil application, magnesium sulfate foliar spray, and 19 all 1% foliar spray at 60, 80, and 100 days after sowing in case of BT cotton in the farmer's field. In the 200 hectare, in 14, 15, 15, 16, and 16, 17. In these 3 years, we have taken a demonstration in northern Karnataka, in this district, Gulbarga, Yadgir, Raichur, Koppal, Bellary, and Bagalkot. In this case, in 2013 also, sorry, this is 13, 14 and 14, 15. In this case, overall, in these different districts, the average yield improvement is 17.5 to 19%. Percentage increase of control over the control is 17 to 19% increase in the yield, and the leaf reddening was reduced by 44 to 45%. Both in case of rainfed situation as well as in irrigated situation, this demonstration has been done in 1 year. In another year also, percentage increase in the yield is 17%, and reddening control was 29 to 41%. These are all some of the photos. Okay, this is all about the physiology, what I want to tell you. But if there is no end, means there are unlimited outcomes of physiologists for the sustainable agriculture. Just I will now stop. Any questions, I am happy to answer. Thank you.
So, well, very nice presentation, sir. Now, students and my teacher friends, please ask any questions if you have any doubts. Please, this is the time to ask questions, please.
Chandanayak.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So, well,
biofortification ಬಗ್ಗೆ
yeah, sir. I have one more class, sir. I will cover.
Okay, then. Okay.
Yeah. So, well, because sir has taken a lot of time, nearly about 1.5 hours, 2 hours, sir has explained very well. And I feel the participants have enjoyed Dr. Amare Gowda sir's class. And if anyone have any questions, please ask. Otherwise, I will move to next step. Okay, I think people have no questions. So, well, sir has very well presented about all the different aspects of crop physiology and some of the outcome of crop physiology department US Raichur and the different products, especially the pulse is a very good product. And I say thank to Dr. J.R. Patil sir, who was a ex-head of the department of our crop physiology department US Raichur. He has developed this product. And this is a very, I should say thanks to Amare Gowda sir, because he has very well explained the and overall performance of Pulse Magic. Because we have here all over India different state participants we have in this program, and somehow this product should move all over India. This is the ideology of our head of the department, and I feel this should happen, and our participants will take our Pulse Magic to the different parts of the country. And its performance is very excellent. And sir has also covered the different aspects like the different plant growth regulators, different nutrients, and what are the combinations if we use, how well we can achieve the sustainable agriculture. So overall, very nice presentation, sir. And actually, sir was supposed to present in the last week due to busy schedule. Sir has taken 1 week extra. He has, we should thank you very much, sir, on behalf of National Agriculture Development Corporation, Jammu Kashmir, behalf of Agriculture University, Raichur, and also behalf of Grassland Research Station, and I see all ICR institutes who are involved in this program. I take the opportunity to thank Dr. Amare Gowda sir. Was my PhD guide also, and we all work together. And once again, I thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful presentation. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
I am thankful for the IGFRI and US Raichur and NADC Limited Baramulla also for providing an opportunity to share my ideas.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, participants, we will give you an assignment in the by the evening. We will send you the message in the group. Kindly, tomorrow we have no class, and please attend the assignment properly and send us. And we will be having class on the Monday. Thank you very much. Relax. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We will leave now.